How do you hold hands with either a woman or a man when you're on a date? Yes, that's right. I'm going to teach you. I'm going to give you some really fun methods to do so. It does not matter if you're male or female. You can apply these methods across the board. Okay, so yeah, we're not only going to learn how to hold hands if you're nervous, but you're also going to learn just some playful techniques just to inject a little extra spark into your dating or relationship experience. I'm dating coach Eric Leonard. Let's have another round, shall we? All about holding hands today. So the first technique, we're gonna do 5 of them, but number 1 here is gonna be about holding hands if you are extremely nervous. How you just do a basic hand hold. Okay, when you are freaking out inside of your head about that engagement. So first of all, you have to be in a position for hand holding. Such as if you are sitting next to each other at the table during your date. It's a little bit harder when you're far away across the date and you can barely reach them. So think about the environmental setup of when you go on your dates. Probably my single favorite time is when I'm moving from one venue to the next. Maybe we just had dinner and we're gonna go see a sunset. We now have to walk there or walk back to the car, side by side on a sidewalk. Perfect time to swoop down and hold a hand, okay? So if you're nervous, the key to reducing nerves when it comes to physical gestures or maneuvers is to go ahead and pair those physical moves with something verbal, an expression, okay? In other words, put some words on it. It's a little bit hard just to reach down and grab someone's hand randomly without any introduction. But if you're expressing something with your words, and that body language matches what you're expressing, it is much more comfortable for you, and you will find this is a good way of reducing nerves. So if you want to hold their hand, often what I will do is I won't necessarily ask permission right away, but I'll go ahead and make the move, reach straight down, just straight down like that to hold the hand, and I will say, "Are you okay with holding hands?" So in a way, it's about asking for consent, but that's actually one of the additional benefits. The primary reason to do it this way is because your nerves actually get reduced when you verbalize something. You saying it out loud, it's like you're pulling them into your side of the same team. Okay, now you have a partner in this. It's not just you making the move, but you're doing it together. They do studies where they put people in rooms, and when they're nervous, they find that they start chatting with one another. They find that they start engaging one another as a means to reduce those nerves. After all, everything is much easier to swallow if you have a partner who's there to swallow it with you. So like I said, you do get a little bit of that extra bonus by having asked for permission or consent. It's kind of nice for them to hear. But it's not the primary purpose. They can always pull their hand away or tell you, "I'd rather not on the first date or not quite yet," and that's fine. You respect that. But just by you saying, "Are you okay with holding hands?" while you have reached down and grabbed the hand, have a nice eye gaze at them and a smile. They're likely to feel flattered, and 9 times out of 10, they find this very sweet and endearing, and they will say yes, and they might even blush a little bit. That's technique number 1, very good for nervous reduction. Okay, technique number 2 is a really simple one. It involves crossing a street. So you're trying to get to your car with your partner. That way you can go to the next dating spot you're going to watch that sunset or whatever it may be. And you know how when you're leading someone across the street, you're watching for the traffic, and when you see a break in it, you might take their forearm or their wrist or whatever's available and kind of pull them across as if to lead them. Now is the safe break in traffic for us to cross. You're gonna do that same maneuver there, okay? So you're leading your date across the street because you stepped out first, and you see you have just enough time to make it over, maybe in a hurried and scurried fashion, that's fine. But when you get to the other side of the street and back on that sidewalk, you now have their forearm or their wrist. You're just gonna go ahead and drop down to their hand to convert it to a handhold. And again, at this point, you can go ahead and look at them, give them a cute smile, give them a nice gaze, be very chivalrous with the whole thing, very gentle and sweet about it. And they will probably like that. And they might even chuckle or blush a little at that cheesy technique they just realized you pulled on them, pretending to lead them across the street, but just turning into a handhold right after. Technique number 3. This is one of my favorites. It's so simple, it's stupid. We're gonna call it the dangerous neighborhood line. Oh, I hope this does not get too popular, because if men and women start hearing it everywhere, it's not going to be effective anymore. The dangerous neighborhood line is simple. After you went and you had some dessert together, some cocktails or some dinner, and you're maybe walking through the park or even just going back to each other's respective vehicles, you can go ahead and say, so I heard this is kind of a dangerous neighborhood. I'm just gonna hold your hand. It's a safety thing, just to keep you close. Okay, yeah, it's just a safety measure. That's all. Okay, your date obviously knows that's a joke, and they know that it's not really a safety measure. You're just being a little bit cheesy about the whole thing. A lame excuse, albeit very charismatic excuse, for wanting to hold their hand. Okay, this one works great. People think it's funny, they think it's sweet, they think it's gentle, and they love that you're being forward about wanting to engage them and get in that hand-holding zone. Technique number 4 is the elbow link technique. This is where you would start with an elbow link, as in, usually for me being the male, I hold my elbow out like this. That prompts her to go ahead and sneak her arm in and link elbows with me. Most women will do this. Most men will do this. I'm right now speaking about it more from the leading perspective, typically the male. Okay, but I like to use this one when I'm on a date with someone who's very, very conservative, and you just know that, look, this is the sort of girl who's not likely to want to touch a whole lot or do anything physical on a date. Well, you still want to think about letting them know that you're interested. Touch can be inserted just in a very polite and gentle and appropriate manner. So the elbow link is great. If you feel like she's not ready to hold hands yet, you can start with the elbow link to warm her up. Oftentimes, after we go on a date somewhere and we're walking elsewhere, I'll just go like this and look at her with a smile. She will naturally link my elbow. That's not too intimate at all, so it's great for someone who's more conservative. It's also kind of funny and cute and sweet. And even you just walk for a little bit, it could be 20 seconds. You can then just go ahead and drop that down to convert it into a handhold. Just pick up her hand from there while you drop down the elbow. Okay, and that is a great segue to a handhold for someone who's more conservative because, well, the elbow link isn't very intense and it serves as a warm-up so that they can adjust and get comfortable and see how funny and cute and playful you're being just by doing the elbow link. This is also one I love to do, even if they just get out of their rideshare and they end up right in front of the restaurant, but I'm out there waiting for them. I'll just go ahead and link elbows. You know, nice to meet you, give them a hug, shake hands, but link that elbow and escort them to the restaurant door. This might only be about 6 or 10 feet away from where we're standing, which makes it totally hilariously irrelevant. Once we get to the door, I'll say, oh, well, that was a short escort. Hold the door open for them, and boom, we have a little bit of intimacy being created right off the bat. Technique number 5 for holding hands. It's not a technique at all. You're just simply gonna directly hold their hand. Okay, you don't have to utter some glib or hilarious phrasing or insert a joke like those other ones did. But if you're feeling the bond and the connection, just go ahead and hold their hand. Generally speaking, signs that you are there: great eye contact. They're clearly happy with you. Maybe they're laughing with you. You guys have been bonding, building rapport, sharing some stories. Perhaps you have closed distance a little bit. You started sitting in one location, but over the course of the night, you scooch closer to them and you guys are ending up side by side. There's obviously chemistry there if that happens and if you should happen to notice it. So just go ahead and stick your hand out as if almost like you're asking them to dance. Can I have your hand? And they will naturally go ahead and give you their hand. You don't have to hold it for very long. If you're actually trying to eat or drink, it may be a little awkward to have to keep holding on. So do that handhold, even just for a minute is fine. Okay, you can always do it again later, but what you're doing is you're breaking those intimacy barriers. Okay, so that's a great thing to do. Take a chance. Just go ahead and request the hand, see what happens. If they're not there yet, or if they're just not comfortable or connected enough with you yet, you just pull it back nonchalantly, like it never happened, and you just move right on, okay? You smile, everything's fine and comfortable, and you don't act awkward about it. So there's 5 great techniques that you guys can use to hold hands. By the way, holding hands is one of my favorite things to do. And for all you men out there, I don't care what you hear on the internet, you are not a simp for holding a girl's hand. They happen to find it very sweet. I've never heard a girl complain about this. Holding hands is a wonderful thing. There's no woman who dislikes it, provided that you've escalated enough to that point and that she's comfortable and connected with you. So by all means, go hold some hands. This is dating coach Eric Leonard. I'll see you guys in the next one.